10 years lost on an island of alien women who despise humans. What they did. Next will shock youth. Sun was barely rising over the strange island, painting the sky in orange and pink. The human woke with a start, lying on soft moss, his clothes torn and dirty. He had no memory of how he arrived, no clue why he was here. All around him, trees twisted in shapes he had never seen, their leaves glowing faintly in the morning light. A strange sound echoed in the distance, like voices mixed with the wind. He stood carefully, brushing dirt from his clothes, heart pounding with both fear and curiosity. The island seemed alive, every rustle of leaves and movement of branches making him tense. He took a cautious step forward, the moss soft under his feet, yet somehow sending shivers through his body. Then he saw them, a group of alien women, tall and strong, their skin shimmering in colors he could not name. Their eyes glowed faintly, scanning the forest around them. Sharp and suspicious, the human froze, realizing they had noticed him. Their stance defensive, weapons in hand, one of them stepped forward, voice low and dangerous. Speaking a language he could not understand, yet full of warning, he raised his hands slowly, showing he meant no harm, every muscle tense. The women hissed at each other, moving closer, eyes never leaving him. He tried to speak, but his words sounded strange and weak in the humid air. The air felt heavy, the forest silent except for the distant waves crashing against hidden cliffs. Suddenly, a bird-like creature flew past, startling both the human and the women. It landed nearby, its glowing feathers reflecting the sunlight, then disappeared into the dense foliage. The tension eased for a moment, but the human knew it would not last. The alien women were watching him carefully, calculating every movement, waiting for a mistake. He slowly backed away, trying to remember what little he knew about survival. The island was unfamiliar, full of dangers he could not see. Sharp vines hung from the trees. Strange plants with glowing flowers swayed in the wind. He knew he had to find food and water quickly, or the alien women might see him as weak as he. Moved, he noticed footprints in the soft moss, not human, smaller and delicate. They led deeper into the forest, weaving between enormous trees and glowing bushes. Curiosity overcame fear for a moment, and he decided to follow them carefully. Every step was measured, every rustle in the leaves making him tense. Suddenly, a shadow moved quickly between the trees, and he ducked instinctively. It was one of the alien women, moving silently, observing him without making a sound. Her eyes glowed brighter for a moment, scanning him carefully. He realized then that these women were not only strong but intelligent, aware of everything around them. The human crouched behind a fallen tree, trying to catch his breath. He thought of how he had survived before, relying on quick thinking and courage. This island was different, yet the same rules applied. Stay calm, observe, and never underestimate the unknown. A strange feeling washed over him, the glowing plants and the quiet forest making him both afraid and amazed. He continued moving quietly, following the small footprints deeper into the forest. The alien women seemed to anticipate his movements, always just out of reach, watching from the shadows. Every sound was amplified. Every step could give him away, yet he could not stop. Something about the island drew him forward, a secret waiting to be discovered. Suddenly, he stumbled upon a clearing, and in the center, a glowing pond shimmered softly. The water reflected the sky, but it seemed to have a life of its own, pulsing faintly, almost breathing. The human stepped closer cautiously, feeling the air around him change. He sensed a presence, as if the island itself was alive, aware of him, waiting for something to happen. From the edge of the clearing, the alien women appeared again, their expressions unreadable. The human froze, clutching a stick for defense, yet knowing it would do little against them. One of the women stepped forward slowly, tilting her head as if curious, not attacking. It was the first moment he felt a glimmer of hope, a chance to communicate, to survive. The sun climbed higher, casting golden light over the strange forest. The human took a deep breath, realizing that his life on this island had begun. For the first time, he understood that surviving here would require courage, wit, and perhaps the unlikeliest of all eyes. And as he looked into the glowing eyes of the alien women, he knew this was only the beginning of a long, dangerous journey. The human moved cautiously through the dense forest, each step careful and quiet. The alien women had disappeared from the clearing, but he knew they were watching, always close. The strange island seemed alive, every tree, every vine, and every glowing plant pulsating with energy. He needed food, water, and shelter, yet every movement felt like walking through a trap. He spotted a small stream nearby, the water shimmering faintly with an otherworldly light. Kneeling to drink, he tasted the water cautiously, feeling a strange warmth spread through his body. It was safe, for now, but the human knew he could not stay in one place too long. The island was unpredictable, and the alien women would return, curious or hostile. He could not tell which. As he explored, he found strange fruits hanging from glowing trees, soft and luminescent. He tried one cautiously, its taste sweet but sharp, giving him strength and energy. Yet he felt uneasy, the forest whispering, tiny movements hinting that someone or something was nearby. The human knew he was not alone, and every shadow could hide danger. Suddenly, he heard a low hiss behind a thick bush, his heart pounding. A small alien creature darted past, glowing, eyes staring at him for a moment. It seemed aggressive at first, then paused, studying him as if deciding whether he belonged. The human froze, then slowly extended a hand, showing he meant no harm. The creature sniffed the air, then darted away into the forest, leaving him shaken but alive. He continued deeper into the jungle, finding a small cave hidden behind thick vines. It smelled damp and earthy, but it would be a safe place to rest and plan his next move. Inside, he noticed strange markings on the walls, carved long ago by hands he would never see. They glowed faintly, as if telling a story, warning him, or guiding him. He could not tell. Night fell quickly, the forest dark and alive with sounds. Strange cries echoed in the distance, and glowing eyes reflected from every corner. The alien women appeared suddenly on the cliff above, observing him silently, their faces unreadable, their glowing eyes tracking his every movement. He knew they were deciding whether to approach, attack, or simply watch. The human lit a small fire carefully, the smoke curling up through the trees. He cooked some of the strange fruits and drank water from the stream, gaining energy, yet he could not shake the feeling that he was being tested, that every action mattered. The alien women had rules he could not understand, yet he sensed them like a heartbeat. They were clever, strong, and dangerous, and he was alone against their scrutiny. As the night deepened, he heard whispers carried by the wind, soft alien voices speaking. He could not understand, yet the tone was urgent, warning him of danger approaching. From the shadows emerged one alien woman, not aggressive, but cautious. Her glowing eyes studied him, curiosity and suspicion mixing in her expression. The human stayed still, showing he meant no harm, his heart pounding in his chest. She did not attack. Instead, she gestured toward the stream, and then vanished into the shadows. It was a silent message, a hint, a clue that perhaps not all the women were against him. The human understood that survival here required patience, observation, and courage. He curled up in the cave that night, daughters of the alien women, or perhaps allies yet to be known. And as he closed his eyes, he realized that the island had begun teaching him its rules. Morning came slowly, the jungle alive with light and movement. The human emerged from the cave, stronger and more cautious, ready to face whatever came next. He knew he could not fight them directly, but he could learn, adapt, and survive. Every sound, every shadow and every glow of the plants could be a hint or a trap. And somewhere in the dense forest, the alien women watched, planning, waiting, and deciding his fate. The adventure had begun in earnest, survival not just for food and water, but to understand the island, the alien women, and perhaps a truth that could change everything. The human took a deep breath, stepping carefully, feeling the strange energy around him. And in that moment, he knew that the island had become a living teacher, and his life would never be the same again. The human woke before sunrise, the forest, quiet except for the distant calls of strange creatures. He felt the island watching him, every rustle of leaves and every shimmer of light hinting at hidden eyes. He knew he could not survive forever by hiding. He needed to understand the island, its rules and its secrets. With a cautious step, he moved deeper into the jungle, following faint paths marked by glowing stones. The air grew heavy as he reached a series of cliffs, vines hanging like curtains. He noticed strange symbols carved into the rocks, glowing faintly with an alien light. They seemed ancient, powerful, and alive, pulsing with energy as he stepped. Closer, the human crouched, tracing the symbols with his fingers. Feeling a strange warmth spread through his hand, suddenly, a whisper echoed through the cliffs, soft alien words carried by the wind. The human froze, heart pounding, unsure if the whisper was real or his imagination. Then, he saw movement above a group of alien women watching silently, their glowing eyes sharp and calculating. He held his breath, staying perfectly still, knowing any wrong move could bring attack or death. One of the women stepped forward cautiously, small and young, yet confident. She did not attack, only observed, tilting her head as if testing his intentions. The human realized that not all the alien women hated him. Perhaps curiosity or something else had drawn them. He took a slow step back, showing he meant no harm, his eyes meeting hers. For a moment, the forest seemed to pause, waiting. Holding its breath, he continued exploring, moving toward a hidden cave at the base of the cliffs. The walls glowed faintly, covered in intricate carvings of alien women, glowing plants, and strange creatures. The human realized these carvings told a story, a history of the island he could not yet understand. He studied them carefully, noticing patterns and repeated symbols, sensing an underlying message. Then, a sudden roar shook the ground, and glowing eyes appeared from the shadows. A massive alien creature, guardian of the island, emerged, its body covered in scales that reflected the faint light. The human froze, knowing he could not fight it. Yet he had to survive. He remembered the glowing symbols on the walls and cautiously stepped closer. The creature paused, sniffed the air, and surprisingly allowed him to pass, as if acknowledging his courage. Inside the hidden cave, he discovered a chamber filled with strange alien technology. Machines hummed softly, pulsing with energy, and floating crystals glowed with unknown power. The human realized that this island was not natural. It had been created or modified by an advanced species. A journal of sorts lay on a pedestal, alien text glowing faintly on the surface. He could not read it, yet somehow he understood fragments, hints of experiments, punishments, and secrets. Suddenly, the youngest alien woman appeared behind him. Stepping silently, she pointed at the crystals, then at the carvings on the wall, her glow pulsing rapidly. The human understood that the crystals held power, perhaps the key to surviving and communicating. He nodded slowly, trying to show he understood. While keeping calm, the woman watched carefully, then vanished as silently as she had appeared, leaving him with more questions than answers. Hours passed, and the human explored the chamber further, learning to recognize patterns in the symbols. The crystals responded to his presence, pulsing brighter when he touched certain carvings. He realized that the island itself was alive, intelligent in its own way, and that the alien women's hatred was tied not just to humans, but to the island's secrets. he felt a mix of fear and determination, knowing that understanding the island was the only way to survive. As night fell, the glowing crystals lit the cave with soft, ethereal light. The human settled near the largest crystal, feeling both awe and fear. Outside, the alien women watched from the cliffs, whispering in their language, plotting. He knew tomorrow would bring new challenges. Perhaps hostility or curiosity, and deep in his mind, a single thought repeated. The island's secret was alive, waiting, and he had just begun to uncover it. Morning light filtered through the dense jungle, casting long shadows that danced across the forest floor. The human moved cautiously, his senses alert, knowing the alien women were always nearby, watching. He remembered the glowing crystals and carvings from the hidden chamber, their secrets still partly a mystery. Today, he had to survive and perhaps learn more about these dangerous, beautiful, and powerful beings. As he walked, he heard soft footsteps behind him, careful and deliberate. Turning slowly, he saw one of the younger alien women following at a distance, her glowing eyes studying him. She did not attack, nor did she speak, only observed, her movements graceful and precise. The human froze, unsure whether to run or stay, realizing that any sudden action could provoke her. He slowly extended a hand, showing he meant no harm. The alien woman hesitated, then tilted her head, her glow pulsing faintly. It was a silent test, a challenge, and he waited patiently, keeping calm. After a long moment, she stepped closer, curious but cautious, her eyes never leaving his. Together, they moved through the forest, the human careful to mimic her pace. He learned to watch the subtle signs, the way she moved, the way her eyes scanned the jungle. They came upon a small stream, and he offered water in a gesture of peace. She sniffed the air, then cautiously drank, showing a flicker of trust. It was the first sign that not all the alien women were enemies. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the trees, and glowing eyes appeared in the shadows. A massive alien predator stepped into the clearing, its body rippling with scales that reflected the sunlight. The human froze, but the alien woman stepped forward, her glow intensifying. The creature hesitated, sensing her power, then turned and disappeared into the forest. The human realized then that she had protected him, choosing to use her strength for his survival. They continued moving deeper into the jungle, the alien woman leading him to safer paths. Along the way, he noticed signs of the island's strange ecosystem plants that glowed and pulsed, small creatures that watched from the shadows, curious yet cautious. The human began to understand that the island was alive, responding to both him and the alien woman. It was a living world, full of danger and beauty, and survival required respect and careful observation. As night approached, they found a small clearing surrounded by glowing vines. The human built a small fire, careful to hide it from any potential threats. The alien woman watched silently, her glow pulsing softly in the firelight. For the first time, she did not move away, did not hiss or threaten, only observed. It was a small but significant step toward trust, a fragile bond forming in the shadows. They shared the clearing in silence, each aware of the other's presence. The human felt a strange sense of companionship, a connection born of survival and necessity. He knew he could not fully understand her, nor she him, but for now they had a fragile truce. The jungle hummed around them, alive with unseen energy, whispering secrets of the island. And as the stars appeared above, he realized that trust, even small, was the key to surviving this place. Suddenly, a distant scream echoed from the cliffs, sharp and urgent. The alien woman's glow flared brightly, and she tensed, ready to move. The human stood quickly, knowing danger was near, yet feeling a strange courage. He had learned much in these few hours, the forest's rules, the alien woman's subtle signals, and he knew that tomorrow would demand more courage, more trust, and perhaps the first true understanding of the island. The night passed slowly, the fire flickering and casting strange shadows. He watched the alien woman sleep, glowing faintly, realizing that she had chosen to stay near him. It was the first real sign that survival could be more than hiding it, could be learning, and as the first light of dawn touched the jungle, the human felt hope stir within him. For the first time, he believed that he could survive here, not alone, but with an unlikely ally. The human woke to the soft glow of alien plants, their light casting eerie shadows across the forest floor. The night was silent, except for distant rustles and the whisper of wind through the glowing trees. He knew danger was always near, yet he felt a strange sense of confidence. After days of survival, observation, and cautious interaction, he was learning the rules of the island. Suddenly, he noticed movement behind a thick cluster of vines, silent and deliberate. It was the young alien woman who had begun to trust him. Her glow faint but steady, she gestured for him to follow, moving carefully through hidden paths only she seemed to know. The human hesitated, but curiosity and the need for guidance pushed him forward. He realized she was offering him something no one else would knowledge of the island, a hidden ally. They moved silently through the dense forest, her glow illuminating only the narrow path ahead. Along the way, she pointed to hidden danger signs that moved to trap intruders, glowing flowers that emitted toxic spores. The human listened carefully, observing every subtle sign, learning how to anticipate threats. For the first time, he felt the island's secrets opening to him, slowly and cautiously. He realized that this young woman was not just an observer, but a teacher, guiding him through peril. As they reached a hidden clearing, she stopped and gestured to a glowing object, partially buried in the ground. It pulsed with energy, unlike anything he had seen before. The alien woman's eyes glowed brighter, as if urging him to understand its power. He reached out, hesitating, for only a moment before touching it, feeling energy surge through his body. It was as if the island itself was giving him strength, preparing him for challenges yet to come. Suddenly, a rustle in the trees made him jump. A patrol of alien women approached, their glowing eyes scanning the forest with suspicion. The young ally stepped forward, standing between the human and the approaching threat. Her glow flared, warning them back, a silent command that startled the patrol. The human realized that she was risking herself for him, showing loyalty and courage he had never expected. The patrol hesitated, then moved on. Leaving them alone in the clearing, the human's heart raced, a mixture of fear, gratitude, and awe. He had found an unexpected partner, someone who could teach him the island's rules and help him survive. Together, they explored further, discovering hidden caves, glowing pools, and ancient alien ruins. Each discovery revealed more of the island's history and the reasons the women had hated humans. The young ally finally led him to a chamber deep within the forest, hidden from view. Inside, ancient technology hummed softly, crystals floated. In midair, pulsing with energy, she gestured to the crystals, then at a series of carvings on the wall. Glowing faintly, the human studied them carefully, realizing they told the story of the island, its creation, purpose, and rules. The alien women had been trained to protect it, and their hatred of humans was tied to past betrayals and fear. Hours passed as he learned, guided silently by his hidden ally. She showed him safe paths, how to avoid predators, and how to use the energy of the island to survive. He realized that this alliance could change everything, that survival might not just be about hiding. It could be about understanding, earning trust, and navigating the complex rules of this alien world. As night fell again, the young ally glowed softly beside him, a faint smile in her alien way. She did not speak, but her actions said more than words ever could. The human knew he had found a true ally, someone who could change the balance of power on the island. And as the forest pulsed with life around them, he understood that the real challenge was yet to come. For the other alien women would notice this alliance, and soon he would face the greatest test of all. The jungle was alive with tension, every leaf trembling as the human and his hidden ally moved cautiously. They had explored, learned, and survived together, but now the real danger loomed. The other alien women had sensed the bond forming, their glowing eyes filled with suspicion and fury. From the shadows, patrols emerged silently, surrounding them from every direction. The human froze, heart pounding, knowing that fight or flight was the only choice. The young ally stepped forward, glowing brightly, standing between him and the approaching threats. The patrol hesitated for a moment, unsure how to deal with a human protected by one of their own. Then one of the stronger women barked orders, their language sharp and commanding. The jungle seemed to hold its breath, waiting for the confrontation to unfold. Suddenly, a massive alien predator leapt from the trees, drawn by the tension. Its scales glimmered under the dim light, teeth bared, eyes glowing orange. The human raised his hands instinctively, but the young ally stepped forward. Her glow flared brightly, energy pulsing outward, forcing the predator to halt. With a swift movement, she directed it away, showing him how power and strategy could survive here. The human realized then that cunning and quick thinking could rival raw strength. He used the environment to his advantage, moving silently, hiding behind vines and rocks. The alien patrols tried to corner him, but he anticipated their movements. Each step was calculated, each breath controlled, as he led them toward a narrow cliffside. The terrain itself became a weapon, the jungle bending to his understanding of it. The patrols grew frustrated, their hisses echoing through the forest. The young ally moved silently beside him, signaling hidden paths and traps. He dodged, leapt, and outmaneuvered them, surprising even himself with his resourcefulness. The glowing crystals and strange artifacts he had discovered earlier seemed to pulse with energy as he moved. It was as if the island itself was aiding him, rewarding his courage and intelligence. Finally, the patrols cornered them near a waterfall, sheer cliffs rising on either side. The human's heart pounded as the strongest female leader appeared, her glow intense, eyes filled with fury. She stepped forward, her voice low but commanding, every movement showing lethal precision. The human stood tall, remembering every lesson learned from his hidden ally, every trap and signal. He raised his hands, not in fear, but in defiance, showing he would not run, would not surrender. For a long moment, the jungle was silent, tension thick in the humid air. Then, with a sudden roar, the leader lunged forward, energy flaring, but the human sidestepped. He used a combination of speed, instinct, and clever thinking to dodge. Using the cliff walls and roots for advantage, the young ally struck at the leader, not to harm, but to distract and confuse. Together, they moved like a single unit, their bond and understanding giving them a strange, powerful advantage. The battle continued, the patrols attacking from different directions, but the human anticipated. Every trap he had noticed before became a tool, every movement precise, every breath controlled. The alien women hesitated, their discipline and strength clashing with his cunning and adaptability. The leader finally paused, eyes narrowing, realizing this human was unlike any other they had encountered. The human breathed deeply, knowing that courage, intelligence, and trust could turn the tide. At last, the patrols retreated, unable to corner him or break his bond with his ally. The leader stared at him, a mixture of anger, respect, and curiosity in her glowing eyes. For the first time, the human felt not fear, but the power of survival and ingenuity. The jungle seemed to relax, the creatures watching silently, the glowing plants pulsing gently. And the human understood that the confrontation had changed everything he had survived, learned, and earned the first real respect of the alien women. As night fell over the jungle, the human and his hidden ally found shelter. Exhausted but alive, the stars reflected in the waterfall, glowing faintly like the crystals deep within the forest. He realized that courage, trust, and clever thinking were more powerful than brute strength. And deep in his heart, he knew that the final challenge, the ultimate revelation of the island's secrets, was yet to come. The jungle was quiet now, but the air was thick with tension. The human and his hidden ally moved carefully, knowing the final challenge awaited them. The alien women watched from the shadows, their glowing eyes sharp and full of suspicion. Even the leader, who had confronted him earlier, lingered at the edge of the cliffs, studying his every move. The human knew that the secrets of the island were not just survival, but understanding. He led the young ally to the hidden chamber deep within the cliffs. The crystals pulsed with energy, casting a soft light across the carvings on the walls. The carvings told a story of an ancient civilization, of humans once visiting the island, of mistakes, betrayals, and a warning that the island would test any intruder. Suddenly, a loud roar shook the ground, and the patrols emerged from the forest. The leader stepped forward, her glow brighter than ever, eyes burning with anger. The human took a deep breath, his mind racing, but his heart calm. He had learned the rules, understood the island, and trusted his ally completely. Together, they stepped forward, facing the leader without fear, ready to prove their worth. The leader lunged, but the human and his ally moved as one, using the environment and their knowledge. He dodged, maneuvered, and positioned himself strategically. The young ally used her powers to create distractions, confuse the patrols, and protect him. The leader stopped suddenly, her eyes widening as the human touched the central crystal. Energy surged, glowing brightly, illuminating the chamber in a dazzling display. The carvings shifted, revealing hidden pathways, secret rooms, and a history long forgotten. The human realized that the island itself had accepted him. Acknowledging his courage, intelligence, and respect, the alien women stepped back, some in shock, some in curiosity. The leader lowered her glowing hands, studying him with a mix of respect and disbelief. The human had survived, adapted, and proven that humans could face even the most dangerous challenges. The young ally approached, her glow softening, signaling the bond they had formed. He understood. Now that trust, patience, and clever thinking had created this fragile peace. The other alien women observed silently, some beginning to soften, others still wary. The human smiled faintly, knowing he had not just survived, but had changed the perception of humans on the island. But just as he felt relief, a tremor ran through the ground, and a deep, unnatural sound echoed. The crystals pulsed violently, and the hidden chamber walls began to shift. The island was not finished, its final secret waiting to be revealed. The leader stepped forward, voice urgent, signaling the human to move quickly. He glanced at his ally, and together they prepared for the next unknown, knowing the journey was far from over. The jungle outside grew restless, glowing plants swaying as if alive. Strange shadows moved quickly, and distant roars echoed, warning of dangers yet unseen. The human understood that survival here was not just about courage, but understanding the island itself. He took a deep breath, stepping into the unknown with his ally at his side. And as the chamber doors closed behind them, the final twist became clear. The island held more secrets than even the alien women knew. The stars shone above the jungle, reflecting in the glowing pools. The human smiled faintly, ready for the challenge, ready to face the unknown, for he had survived 10 years of danger, hostility, and mystery. And now, the true adventure had only just begun.